Look at the state of the franchise for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm really interested in seeing, how next season plays out for San Francisco, because this season or this past season, they went 10-7 and they made it to the playoffs. And they made it all the way to the conference championship game where they were defeated by the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams. And the 49ers were one of those teams that, I don't want to say they crept out of nowhere, but they got really hot late in the season. And they carried that momentum all the way throughout the playoffs. And is why they kind of, exceeded many people's expectations, because the 49ers, most people looked at them as a wild card team. They were going to get into the playoffs. They were going to win 9-10 games, but it was hard to really see them doing much after that because of the limitations that they had at quarterback with Jimmy Garoppolo. However, their first couple of playoff matchups, they didn't really need to throw the football all that much. As a matter of fact, they won in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo. And then they get to the conference championship game. Jimmy Garoppolo played a pretty good game. It's just that the Rams just played a better overall game, and he made more plays when the game was on the line in the fourth quarter. So now, with the rumors out there that the 49ers are actively shopping Jimmy Garoppolo, a lot of people are excited for Trey Lance, myself included, because the 49ers traded up a lot to get Trey Lance. And the NFL, a couple of days after the Super Bowl, on their Instagram page, they made a post. It basically had all 32 NFL teams, and it said, "We know it's early, but who is your early Super Bowl matchup?" And many people, for the AFC had the Bills, the Chiefs, but for the NFC, many people had the 49ers, the Rams, or the Cowboys. And I was kind of surprised because I thought I was the only person who had the 49ers kind of tapped in as my way too early Super Bowl prediction. And that's not my official. I don't want anybody, trying to make it seem like I'm picking San Francisco to win it all, because I'm not. We still got a whole offseason to go. But in terms of right now, I'm pretty high on the 49ers. And I'm kind of wondering if Trey Lance next season, if he starts, could be what Patrick Mahomes was for the Chiefs in 2018. Because you remember when Kansas City kind of had a similar situation. They traded up for Patrick Mahomes. He sat a year. Then they traded Alex Smith. And then Patrick Mahomes went off his first season as the starting quarterback for Kansas City. You wonder if Trey Lance can do that, because he has a lot of clips from him in practice making all kinds of crazy throws. And of course, people are going to, try to down the plays that he made from practice, saying, "Oh, it's just practice. Is he going to be able to do it in the real game and whatnot?" So there's a lot of excitement for Trey Lance. However, what if the 49ers can't trade Jimmy Garoppolo? Because, I don't really think that any team is going to be jumping out the bit to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. As a matter of fact, if you have to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, it kind of means that your quarterback situation is kind of in a bad spot, and Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of like an emergency quarterback, just so you can have, some stability at the position going into the regular season. So trading for Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of like an emergency move where you desperately need to have a starting quarterback, rather your starter got injured, or maybe you didn't really assess the quarterback position the way that you should have in the early stages of the off season, and you weren't able to get your hands on one. So you look at Jimmy Garoppolo, there's a very good chance that maybe he does return to San Francisco. And if he does remain in San Francisco, it's like they're going to be a quarterback battle again between Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, because Jimmy Garoppolo isn't going to play bad enough to get benched. And on top of that, the 49ers are going to win games just because they're a good team and they are capable of being able to win despite not having great quarterback play. So with Trey Lance coming in, you're looking for him to get you to that next level. You're looking for Trey Lance to get you to the Super Bowl pretty much and to get you a Lombardi trophy. And also, Mike McDaniels, OC for San Francisco, took the head coaching job in Miami. And I don't really know what role Mike McDaniels had in the offense because, like, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Shanahan calls the play. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Kyle Shanahan was calling the play. So I don't really know what Mike McDaniels' role was when it came to the offense. Was he involved in the game planning, the adjustments? Like, what was his role on Kyle Shanahan's staff? And then defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans. Like, 49ers fans, enjoy DeMeco Ryans while you have him for at least one more season because it looks like you may once again be losing another good defensive coordinator because DeMeco Ryans' defense was a large reason for why the 49ers had the kind of success they had late in the season and then the playoffs. Like, this defense played phenomenal. However, cornerback has to be addressed. Like, it has to be addressed. Like, the 49ers have to make it a big focal point of going out there and trying to acquire a big name cornerback. Now, it might not be via free agency because they only have like $2 million, well, near $3 million in cap space. So, I mean, they're going to have to work some things around, restructure some contracts and whatnot. But they have to make it a focal point to improve the cornerback position. On top of that, Laken Tomlinson is a pending free agent. He was the starting left guard for San Francisco this past season. Are they going to bring him back? You need to add some more depth on the interior of the defensive line. Then, okay, like, what about, safety? Because Tart is currently a pending free agent. So you're going to have to address cornerback and you're going to have to address the secondary. But overall, you look at the current state that the 49ers are in as a organization, they're in a really good spot. Because, I mean, like, this team kind of, they kind of shocked some people. Because, like, this was a team that wasn't really supposed to go no further than the divisional round, and it made it to the conference championship game. And it's going to be really exciting to see, as we progress throughout the offseason, if Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded, how this team and how this offense is going to be constructed around Trey Lance. Because I don't know if a lot of you guys watch this podcast, but it's a podcast that Sean McVay does with one of the guys who works on NFL Network, Peter Schrager, I believe his name is. And I think it was called The Traveling Coach. And Sean McVay ended up having Kyle Shanahan on in one of these episodes. They basically were, chatting it up, X's and O's, coach talk. But Kyle Shanahan explained the decision process that the 49ers had when they were deciding to draft Trey Lance. And basically, Kyle Shanahan was naming off traits that he looks for in a quarterback. You got to be smart, got to have the arm strength and whatnot. But you look at Trey Lance, Trey Lance kind of fits the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes mode, kind of raw coming out of college, needs a lot of coaching, needs to be retooled, and needs to improve his mechanics in certain aspects. But the physical traits are there. Like, Trey Lance has all the physical tools to dominate at a very high level. However, can you teach him the X's and O's? Can you improve his football IQ? Because Kyle Shanahan said that having a great quarterback kind of relieve some of the stress off the head coach, because now you have a great quarterback that can make up for some of the mistakes that, the guy calling the plays may make, or, turning a bad play into a good play and a good play into a great play. So when you have a great quarterback, it takes a little bit of pressure off the head coach, because now you can rely on your quarterback in certain instances to go ahead and win the game for you versus having to make everything, so analytical analytical and having to overly rely on the run game like you have had to do in the past with Jimmy Garoppolo being the starting quarterback. And Jimmy Garoppolo is not bad. He definitely has his moments. It's just that he's inconsistent and you don't really know if he's going to be available to help you win because he also has a history with injuries. So, stay the franchise for the 49ers. Very great spot that San Francisco is in. As a matter of fact, they are in the prime spot right now to make it to the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, next season or the next 2-3 years may be the best opportunities that the 49ers may have at winning a championship because the NFC is way different from the AFC. Like the AFC is stacked with so many great quarterbacks, so many great young teams. And the NFC is completely different. You know, you got a lot of teams who have quarterbacks who are either up there in age or they're retiring. So you don't really know what those teams are going to do at the quarterback position. Like what's going to happen with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Are they going to get Deshaun Watson? What are they going to do? Are they going to roll with Kyle Trask? What's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers? Like is he going to demand a trade? Is he going to retire? You don't really know. So there definitely is a prime opportunity for the 49ers to be in that Super Bowl conversation next season and to actually have a legit shot of winning a championship. It just really all depends on, you know, like if Trey Lance is what 49ers fans and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are hoping that he is. This transcendent quarterback that has all the physical tools to be great. However, will he be able to pick up enough of the game to be successful? So, stay the franchise for the 49ers. You guys let me know what you guys think about the 49ers moving forward as we progress throughout the NFL offseason.